Welcome to the Tomsriver Show. Pat O'Melia here, and it's our first Tomsriver Show of 2018. A lot we're going to talk about. You got a new business administrator. You got the Sears on Hooper closing. We're going to talk about nuclear surcharges. We're going to talk about your taxes, the $10,000 maximum cap on your federal taxes now. These are all the things we're going to discuss when we come back. So, again, you're watching the Tomsriver Show. I'm Pat O'Melia. We'll be right back.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Meineke Car Care, conveniently located at 700 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City, half a mile north of County Road. Meineke bumper-to-bumper car care. Brakes, exhaust, oil change, wheel alignments, batteries, CV joints, and so much more. First-rate service at a price you can afford. All major cards accepted. Apply for a Meineke card. Meineke, Jersey City. Stop by and let Sammy check your brakes for free.
We're back. You're watching the Tomsriver Show. Pat O'Melia here. You're a concerned Tomsriver resident. That's why we do the show, because you're concerned. Got my coffee. My studio here is in Seaside Heights. Got the coffee at Babe's down the street here on Central. Good little deli. Got everything you could possibly want to grab in a hurry. As I said, we got a lot we're going to talk about. You just came off a blizzard, a huge storm, the storm of 2018. We're in the beginning of 2018, so any storm would be. You got hit with about 13 inches of snow in Toms River, and you're going to have to give props to DPW. For the limited amount of driving around Toms River I did, guys in pretty good shape. You got the roads, the county did a good job, the state did a good job, Toms River did a good job. All the roads are open. You know, I come from Jersey City guy, as most of you people in Toms River are. You're just transplanted. And like I said before, I don't need 6 degrees of separation to find the Jersey City part of Toms River. It's Jersey City is the main gene pool. Excellent job removing the snow. Props to the DPW, Mayor Kelleher, his city council. They have certainly appropriated enough money to get the roads taken care of, get the salt down. They put the pickle brine down. They do a good job. From a consumer aspect here in Toms River, Sears is closing. Yeah, it's amazing when you think back in our lifetime of people of a certain age, and I'm of that certain age. Sears was the king of retail. It began and ended with Sears. Sears and Roebuck, you had the Sears catalog, Kenmore, Craftsman tools. They sold all that off. Little by little, it's like Sears is hanging on. And, you know, they got one hand holding the rope and they're at the end of that rope. And it's astonishing when you look back on all, and Sears and Kmart, well, owned by the same company, they're going to close 103 stores. Starting now. It'll be closed by March. And the one here on Hooper is closing. I think, what's our numbers on that? We got 103 stores, 64 Kmarts. I wasn't even sure Kmart was still in business anymore. You know, the blue light specials and all that. They didn't spend any money at all marketing with Kmart. And 39 Sears. The only Sears in New Jersey that is closing is the Toms River one here on Hooper. You know, if you think back, remember the Sears catalog? You know, it rivaled the Bible in thickness. And that's how people ordered. Everything was mail order at a time. You would, you know, fill out your little card, you sent your check, or you got your Sears credit card, and you ordered through the catalog, and they sent it to you. This is when UPS was in its infancy. There was no FedEx back then. And you got your stuff in about 4 to 6 weeks. But that catalog, you know, you used it for shopping, you used it to waste time. Some other people use it for other reasons. It was the retail store. There was Sears, there was Macy's. But when you think about it, Amazon is the problem now. People just aren't going to the malls, and Sears is what would be called an anchor tenant. So what happens to the malls that the Sears are in? That's debatable. What they've been doing with a lot of that mall space is converting them into gyms. Yeah, is that a long-term solution? Not sure. What is the long-term future of malls? that's debatable also. It's an Amazon world, and there is nobody. Walmart is doing all they can to counteract Amazon, but there is really no one that can compete with Amazon. And I'm going to tell you, somewhere, and I don't think too far in the distant future, the government's going to have to step in with Amazon. They are becoming a monopoly. You know, it's the easiest way in the world to shop. Now, again, you do run the risk of your credit card being hacked. Anything you do online anymore. I just had my debit card. I had to replace my debit card. Somebody charged up at Xfinity, totaled about $400 or $500. Now, in the business, you know, we use the phone, the debit card to pay the phone bill. Our Q-books, our internet accounting programs, ASPCA we donate to, the VFW, St. Jude's, all these things that are debited on your account. When you have to change that card, it is a huge problem. But that's the drawback of doing business online. And somewhere, somehow, and if anybody's going to figure out how to make it safe, it's going to be Amazon. But, you know, we got hacked or copied or skimmed, whatever happened. I think it happened at a gas station, to be honest with you, because the charges they did were online. And I don't think you have to be a super sleuth to figure out where it's going, because somebody purchased things through Xfinity and it had to be delivered, so they had an address involved. But they didn't have the security codes. They didn't have all the information, so they never physically got the card. So I don't think it was at a TD ATM. I think it was at a gas station. Now, what I'm going to do, what I suggest you do in the future, if you deal like the TD Bank, you can go and get a limited debit card that you can charge up to maybe $100. And that's what I'm going to do, because I think where our information was stolen from was at a gas station. But it happens constantly now. Every big company gets hacked. All right, we're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Tomsriver Show. I'll be right back.
Pan & Pinto Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces that address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panandpintoproperties.com. Pan & Pinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone. Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
We're back. You're watching the Tomsriver Show. Pat O'Melia here. You're a Tomsriver resident. Now, again, this show is also on the streaming, so you could be an Ocean County resident. You could be a Pat junkie, and you're just watching me. Got to get you filled. A Pat groupie, junkie. Who uses that word anymore, junkie? Again, you're a person of a certain age. For that matter, I was talking to people who are going to be contributors to this Tomsriver Show. Tomsriver Show, with me hosting it, is basically new. Your Ocean County Sheriff, Mike Masternaughty, will be part of the Tomsriver Show. Your Ocean County Prosecutor is going to be part of the show. Of course, Mayor Kelleher. We're going to try to get more parts of Ocean County and Tomsriver involved. And somewhere along the line, we're going to probably have to get an accountant or somebody from the state, somebody I would like to really get involved in the show here. And I also host the Jersey City show in Hudson County, is State Senator Steve Sweeney. Steve does not mind speaking his mind, and he's one of the people, the movers and shakers in New Jersey. Now, President Trump just pushed through his first big piece of legislation, a huge tax cut. And one of the things we need to stop in Washington is the Dems versus the Republicans, the dysfunction there. Once the campaign, I understand it's the Dems and the Republicans, you know, it's like a football game. You know, the game's got to go on. But once the game is over, you know, everybody shakes hands. We're all in the same, you know, league, and boom, boom, boom. We're all kumbaya. We're all friendly. That doesn't happen in politics. The campaign's never in. The Democrats can't work with the Republicans can't work with Democrats. You know, if right now the Republicans are in control, if they say the sun is shining, they'll say no, there is no sun. They will argue everything. There are tax cuts. Who benefits from them? You know, not everybody's happy with cuts. You know, people say, well, the wealthiest are going to get cut. Well, everybody gets a tax cut. And if you're making more money, you're going to get a bigger tax cut. It should be the middle class and the lower class earners who are, who are going to see the most results out of this tax cut. But the biggest issue is property tax, the SALT. Now, the feds are now capping your local and state taxes, property taxes, at $10,000. Now, for most people, that's probably right in the ballpark, unless you're sitting on a 500, 600,000 piece of property, and that is very possible in New Jersey. 10 grand you can live with. Now, here in New Jersey, very Democratic, Phil Murphy's coming in next week. He's going to be sworn in as the governor. The Dems control the Assembly. They control the state Senate. I have a lot of confidence in Governor-elect Phil Murphy. Everybody's certain he's going to come in and tax. He's seen what happened with McGreevey. He's seen what happened with Florio. He's seen what happened with Corzine. They were all one and done. So, and listen, Phil Murphy's a self-made guy. He made his bucks on Wall Street, Goldman Sachs guy. I know people compare him to Corzine. I think we'll see a difference there. Everybody in the state is trying to figure out how we can get around this $10,000 Fed deduction. The only thing, now the state caps your deduction at 10 grand. Nobody mentions that on the state level. And one of the things I want to talk to Steve Sweeney about is that, the 10,000. Nobody's talking about the state. The state can up it. The state, state can easily say, well, since the feds aren't giving you all the deduction on your property taxes, the state will. No, the state didn't do that. And the state has had a cap for $10,000 forever. What we need to do is reduce taxes overall on the property owners in New Jersey. And that's the bottom line. We are number one in like every category, and we don't want to be number one in these categories. The highest property tax, the highest taxation. For a while there, we were like the second lowest on fuel tax. As soon as that was discovered, it was like, whoo, we can't have that. We got to get up in the upper 5% or what have you. We need to reduce that. Now, the state is talking about coming up with all sorts of crazy ideas on how you can still enjoy a deduction by actually making donations to the state of New Jersey, tax-deductible charitable donations to the state in lieu of municipal taxes. This isn't going to work. There is some talk about lowering the state income tax and upping the payroll tax. That's not going to work. What we need to do, and I think Steve Sweeney is one of the guys that can push this through, and I think Phil Murphy is going to jump in on this too. We got to figure out how to cut taxes, how to get our house in order. And, they just allowed the arbitration cap on police and fire department salaries to expire. They were capped at 2%. Now, you could see your police and fire going up 7-8%. That could be dangerous. And, when the politicians start dealing with the police and fire, they are looking for votes in the future. Some of these guys were police and fire. That becomes dangerous. Why Christie put that 2% cap in was to control property taxes. Tomsriver just got a new BA, the former mayor of Atlantic City. Atlantic City was in such dire straits from a lot of their contracts that they negotiated over the years that the town went bankrupt. They went bankrupt with all the casinos. Things just turned. And when the casino industry turned, Atlantic City couldn't, if it couldn't adjust quick enough. Actually, they didn't adjust at all. Why we need to make sure we look at everything. Shared services, municipality-wise, that is so important. That is a sure way to cut your taxes. When we come back from commercial, we'll talk about that some more. But instead of complaining about the Fed deduction, we got to figure out in New Jersey how to cut taxes. You're watching the Tomsriver Show. I'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers the quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport, live like you want.
We're back. You're watching the Tom's River Show. Pat O'Meara here. You, Tom's River resident. Comcast cable and on our streaming services. Got my babe's coffee. Like I was saying before the break, we need to figure out how to cut the taxes in New Jersey. We can't be number one in every category. Now, Steve Sweeney, the Senate president, is talking about school taxes, where he used Maryland as a comparison. I believe it was in the Asbury Park Press did a story on this. Maryland school taxes and school budget is half of what it is in New Jersey. So we should kind of look at that and say, well, how is this? Somehow we need to get control of this. When you talk New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut, you know, it's off the charts on how much the property taxes are. And everything is from state government. Now, what you need to do is start spreading the expense. That's why in previous shows I talked about shared services. A state's got to figure out how to share services with the counties. Same thing with municipalities. Tom's River, again, you got a new BA. The ex-mayor of Atlantic City, you know, why is this move? Atlantic City's in bankruptcy. You know, the state had to come in and take over and void contracts. Before he was the mayor down there in Atlantic City was going in the wrong direction. You know, what you could say about Guardian, our new BA here in Tom's River, is that he didn't adjust quick enough. When the money revenues from the casinos were starting to wane, nobody made any adjustments. You know, they were still giving the same contracts to the public workers. And listen, I'm pro-union, I'm pro-public worker. But if the money isn't there, you can't give it. It's like your budget at home. You know, you would love to have unlimited resources, but you don't. You got to live within your budget, and that's what we don't do in New Jersey. You know, you have a pension fund that is billions of dollars behind. We probably never catch up on that. Your tax bills are constantly going up. What you need to do, and I talked about Tom's River doing this with Ocean County, and it's one of the things I'm talking about in Jersey City with Hudson County. Shared services. You know, Tom's River and Ocean County have DPW departments, road departments. Wouldn't it make sense to try to share services there? They both have health and human services. In a lot of cases, probably redundant. You throw the state in there. Now, again, the state has roads departments and services. They have health and human services. They have parks departments. We all have that. From the municipality to the county to the state. And each one has employees, each one has equipment, each one has insurances, each one has benefits, each one has vacations, and each one costs a ton of money. And each one is paid through your property taxes. So the best way to start looking at it in ways that you can cut expenses is through the shared services. Now, we talked about this over the last 8 years with Christie. He was a big pusher in this, but nobody seemed to grasp that. Now, when you're looking at the property taxes not being deductible, first off, you'd think the municipality is going to say, listen, you know, we can't go raising the property taxes because the property owners can't write this off on their Fed taxes anymore. You know, that was a little saving grace for these guys. They'll raise the taxes, but you can deduct it. Not the case anymore. And remember, there are 50 states in the United States, plus Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. They're all under basically the same taxation. You know, there are people in the Midwest saying, you know, they're underwriting the Northeast. But really, when you get to it, it's New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut, and things just get out of hand. The best way to get things and get your house back in order is through shared services. Like I said, with that deduction, with the arbitration cap, rather, of 2%, if that, you know, why, you know, you would think that would have been renewed right off the bat. No, that was allowed to expire. It was allowed to sunset. And you just know these unions are going to go to the negotiating table, and they're going to know now we go to arbitration, we don't have that 2% cap. They get 7-8%. Again, they are probably worth the 7-8%. The thing is, how much more can you afford to pay? Every aspect of New Jersey has to be looked at as far as shared services. Now, I only picked out a few things: the DPW road departments, health and human services, parks departments. Think about that. Every level of government has one. From Tomsriver has one, to Ocean County has one, a road and parks department, and health and human services, the state does. Do we need 3 different levels of that? And are we getting you take health and human services. You know, we have a homeless situation. Are we getting the bang for your buck when we have 3 different levels? And if you throw the feds in there, and you remember the federal government has it also, again, talking to health and human services, from the feds to the state to the county and municipality. Are we getting the best bang for your buck with health and human services as it pertains to homeless people and people with disabilities? You know, there seems to be a ton of money that I'm not sure we're focusing the best we can, because we have so many layers of government and so many layers of salaries that, again, are paid for by you, the property owners here in Tomsriver. That's why it is imperative, and I will bring Steve Sweeney on. Maybe I can get him for this show, or I'll get him for next week's show, but I'd like to get Steve Sweeney as a regular contributor on this show. And the same thing with our Hudson County shows, too, because the guy makes sense. All right, we're going to break for commercial. You watching the Tomsriver show? I'll be right back.
Rama Jewelers, located in the Lyndhurst Shopping Center at 413 Valley Brook Avenue, Lyndhurst. Come for all your jeweler needs at Rama Jewelers, where you will find a fine selection of necklaces, earrings, rings, and bracelets. Choose from one of our complete sets, our many signature items, or find the perfect engagement ring. Come on down. That's Rama Jewelers at 413 Valley Brook Ave, Lyndhurst. Call 201-939-5784 or visit us online today.
The Jersey City Medical Center. You know it for its award-winning life-saving ambulance service. It's also your health hub, with health and wellness locations staffed with certified professionals all through Hudson County. The Jersey City Medical Center, here to help you with your healthy, here when you need us the most. The Jersey City Medical Center. Visit us on the net to learn more. Jersey City Medical Center, Robert Wood Johnson, Barnabas Health Facility. Let's be healthy together.
We're back. You're watching the Tomsriver Show. Pat O'Melia here, your concerned Tomsriver resident. You know, we're talking about property tax and the state getting the house in order and somehow taking the burden off you, the homeowner, the business owner, the property owner here in New Jersey and Tomsriver in particular right now. In Jersey City, my hometown, there is Liberty State Park, huge park on the banks of the Hudson River. There is some commercial aspects of Liberty State Park. There is the Liberty House restaurant. There's a marina there. There's Marpac, another restaurant that I haven't gone into yet. You know, usually only go there for political functions. I go to Liberty House, which somebody would have something at the Marpac so I can actually go in there. There is a proposal on the table right now from a company called, I think it's Suntex, out of Texas. They run marinas. And they would like to open another marina in Liberty State Park, right on the Hudson River. There is a shortage of slips up in North Jersey, you know, and they're calling it the Millionaire's Marina. Not everybody has a boat as a millionaire, as you well know. Down here in Ocean County, there's a lot of ocean here, and there's a lot of boat owners, and there's bays, so you're not all millionaires. There is a bulkhead that needs to be repaired at Liberty State Park, and it's around $50 million to repair the bulkhead. Part of this lease agreement is for Suntex, I believe the name of the company is, to do the bulkhead, and they'll get like a 50-year lease, and including the lease is a full payment for the bulkhead, and then there will be payments each year for a lease, lease agreement. And they would build the marina, and they'll build another restaurant, and they'll build some retail there in the park, and the park will be able to generate some money to offset its expenses. I think, don't hold me to the number, I think it's $4 or $5 million a year to operate Liberty State Park. It's a beautiful park, big park, but it looks like a park that doesn't have any money, because there's so many things that need to be done. You have the old rail station there. That rail station looks the same today as it did when I was there when Mayor Glenn D. Cunningham was inaugurated back in 2001. You can see where the needs for money is. Now, I know Sam Pessin and his father, his family founded Liberty State Park. They were the movers and shakers behind it, having it designated a park, keeping it out of the way of developers. But, you know, we have Liberty Science Center there. We have the Liberty National Golf Course down there. And again, it's a park in Jersey City, and everybody talks about it. Everybody from the state comes to Liberty State Park. I don't know how many people are coming up from Ocean County or Atlantic County to go and enjoy Liberty State Park. It's great for Jersey City. It's a beautiful park, and we're big in parks. We just opened an 18-acre park, Berry Lane. I agree with the state's effort to try to generate revenue out of that park to cover its expenses, because if it can't cover its expenses, it goes onto the shoulders of the property owners here in New Jersey, and every other kind of fee, from income tax, a fuel tax, whatever tax you could have. All those taxes go to the government so they can operate and maintain all their properties. If you can get some private entity in there to use some of that land and pay for that bulkhead, that's not coming out of you. And there are people, I think it was the Star Ledger or the Jersey Journal did an editorial, and they said, why don't you just bond? Bonding isn't magic money. You got to pay that bond. Who pays the bond? Because we're not getting any more money from private entities in Liberty State Park. Who's paying the bond for the bulkhead? You are. So that's why I'm in favor of it. I'm not in favor of privatizing the whole park, but I'm in favor of that. And who ever seen an ugly marina? I mean, it's usually nice. I don't have a problem with it. But if we don't do this, that bulkhead's got to be repaired. You'll pay for it. Talking about subsidies, one of the reasons I want to get Steve Sweeney on the show, PSE&G and the nuclear people who run the nuclear plants here in New Jersey, nuclear power isn't as cheap as it used to be. The reason being natural gas prices are down so low. They are so low, the nuclear energy is now expensive. So they want the state to do some subsidies to operate the nuclear plants, tax breaks, or allowing these, like PS&G and whoever else is involved in the nuclear services here in New Jersey, to up their rates. So the plants will stay open, and they do provide about 40% of our electric in the state. They close, you're going to have a hard time doing 40%. And don't follow that as people in New York who are talking about solar and wind farms replacing nuclear. That's not going to happen. We know this works. You know, is it dangerous? We keep, the danger of nuclear. Come on. You had 3 Mile Island one time back in the 70s. That's it. They always are on top of this. You want to build a nuclear plant, you can build it next to my house. If it's going to save me and money on my electrical, I'm okay with that, as long as it's well maintained. But I don't think I need to subsidize public service gas and electric, the same people who are charging me for that natural gas that I get. So somehow, some way, if the state's going to do some subsidy, we need something back. I don't know what the trade-off is. Now, yes, I would like to keep all the employees going, and yes, we need that 40% of energy, but somehow we got to find a better way of doing this and satisfying the needs of the energy companies, besides you paying another $40 a month on your gas and electric. The $40 here, the $20 there, the $60 here, all that adds up. And not everybody can afford this. And that's why I'm saying we need to start looking at our expenses. All right, that's it. If you need to get in touch with me, jctalking2000 at Yahoo. I'm sure that's on the bottom of the screen. You can tweet me at JC Hudson Media. You be good. You be safe. I'll talk to you next week. Good night.